Welcome to the Robin Graham Show, the podcast for purpose-driven women who want to achieve sustainable success without having to be on social media.
Hey, beautiful friends, welcome back to another episode of the Robin Graham Show. I often hear people say that I don't know how to sell. I can't sell. Sales are terrifying. But here's the thing. When you're not selling, and yes, you've heard me say sell without selling. And that is when you're actually establishing yourself and your message is so clear, people immediately understand that you're going to help them solve the challenges that they have, or you understand their needs, wants, and desires. However, there are still people always that we're going to have to sell to. Not everyone is easily converted. So, with that being said, today we are going to talk all about that and how your mindset going from the entrepreneurial mindset to the CEO mindset is going to help you shift your focus so that you will be able to sell and generate more revenue in your business. And with that, you're also going to be able to have more impact, which is what we're all about as purpose-driven entrepreneurs, coaches, and sales or service providers. All right, without further ado, Dina Patton, welcome to the Robin Graham Show.
Thank you. And thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. So I'm excited to dive into this conversation. We have talked about CEO mindset in the past, but we have these episodes and then there are months and months and months in between them. So it's always great to have a refresh. So I'm happy that you're here to tell us all about all this. So before we dive in, will you just share with the listeners a little bit about what brought you to this point in your journey?
Oh boy. I've been an entrepreneur about 29 years. I almost don't remember, ever working for anybody else, but I had a big dream, and I am a simple girl from a broken family in Phoenix, Arizona. And at 20 years old, I had a dream to move to New York City. Never been there, but I knew it was my home. And it was so part of my big dream. And I sold everything I had, which was nothing, little parts of my apartment, and took my like $2,000 and moved to New York City and started my own PR marketing agency. And what I was very passionate about doing was serving and solving for people. And I was really good at marketing. Kind of the world of branding, marketing, sales was my thing. And there was no internet. And so it was a whole different world back then. But I was very lucky to grow that business, learned a lot. I failed a lot. I always say you've got to fail forward because, oh my gosh, your first business, you learn a lot of lessons about yourself, about how to lead, how to sell. Oh my gosh, all of it. And sold that business in 2001 and started my coaching and consulting business. And I coach small businesses with 3 to 100 employees, really around three things. One, sales; two, systems and processes, SOPs; and then mindset, and that CEO mindset. Because it's hard. It's really hard owning your own business. And sometimes we're failing in our mindset, and we got to get that back on track. So those are the three things I coach people on, I speak on, I train on. I love it. And so happy to be here today talking about it.
Well, good. So since you mentioned mindset, let's talk about going from the CEO or an entrepreneurial mindset to a CEO mindset, or what is the difference between the two?
Well, there's a ton of difference, but I boil it down to this: is an entrepreneur mindset is master of everything. They believe they have to do everything. A CEO mindset is master of vision and strategy. And so it's, where we're going and how we're getting there. And that clarity moves the train. And then one hat at a time, they start to replace themselves, right? And that's where a lot of entrepreneurs kind of get in the muck of things. They get so integrated in wearing 10 hats. And then 2 years go by and 4 years go by, and they're still wearing all the hats because there wasn't an intention of replacing themselves. So you want to start to create an intention to replace, let's say you have 10 hats or 5 hats. This is how you want to look at it. When I look at my CEO plate that only I can be doing, should be doing, and as the CEO, what is on that plate? And you list that. Everything else should be delegated to someone else, right? And when we only, own a business all by ourselves, that's one maybe contractor at a time. You hire one person to do your emails, your newsletters, then another person, and then another person. But slowly, the point is to delegate and train other people to do the other things so that you can be the best, greatest CEO that you can be. And we can't be great CEOs when we're doing everything. You know why? Because we're totally exhausted.
That's very
we are
true.
burdened by everything, right?
Yeah.
So it's very hard to build a great company that's very aligned to your purpose and your mission and your vision and your values when you are doing 10 million things and you're completely exhausted.
Yeah, absolutely. You get lost in the shuffle, you're distracted and overthinking all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously that impacts the ability to move forward and be successful. So with all of that said, if we shift our mindset from entrepreneurial mindset to CEO mindset, how does that influence our branding, marketing, and sales?
Well, I think what's really important, the branding, marketing, and sales piece is so important because the brand is who are you and what do you stand for, right? And that comes through not just your brand identity, fonts, websites, presentations, all that, what they see, but brand promise, what they feel. It's really important when you go through the branding process to understand, how do I want my audience to feel? So when they read my book, they read my blog, they're on my website, they're in the social, they see me speak, they see me at a networking group, like that consistency is really important. And that's what creates a brand, is there's consistency on every single touch point, right? But again, that's intentionality. That doesn't happen by accident, right? A Starbucks brand did not happen by accident. There is a very clear feel of why people want to go to a Starbucks, because they nailed that, right? They want you to feel at ease, at home. You can sit down and read your book for 3 hours, right? Like that community belonging feeling. That's part of their brand, not an accident, right? So branding, you got to know who you are. Again, back to like entrepreneur mindset. If you haven't done that work, you don't really know what you stand for, what your vision is. You don't know where you're going. You don't know your values. The values are the things that you hire, fire, and lead from. So if you don't have them, what are you hiring, firing, leading from? We're throwing spaghetti on the wall, which is very much entrepreneur mindset. We're faking it. We're throwing spaghetti on the wall. We're right. We're just getting through the day. So just getting more strategic, one decision at a time, one day at a time. This happens over, a process over time. But starting to ask yourself, what is my brand? What do I want it to look like? What do I want it to feel like? And getting consistent in, what is my brand? What is my stand? Who are we? And then that translates to marketing, through your blog, through presentations, through your flyers, everything that we do through your social media. Your marketing is going to be on brand because you did the branding part, right? But marketing is an attraction conversation. This is really important. This is a note takers or money makers, you write this down, is marketing is an attraction conversation. It is meant to put your brand out in the world and gets your ideal client to look. That's it. Just look at my blog, look at my book, look at my presentation, look at my webinar, look at the thing I'm trying to show you, right? That is step one. Now, sales is a conversion conversation. So sales are all the little like bricks we put down to help our ideal client take a step towards us. So now they're subscribing to your newsletter, they're buying your book, they're registering for your class. But if we're not laying these little steps down and helping them in the conversion process, they're just left in la la land, which is marketing. Like they see your name all over the place, but there's nothing to do. There's no action. There's no way they can get closer to you. So that's how branding, marketing, and sales, like when it's done well, you become a very well-oiled machine and you can see the results in the sales.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
And it absolutely does. And it really is a process. It's not one and done.
Right.
There's a journey that you're taking people on, and there's a journey that you have to go on as far as self and business discovery in order to bring other people on that journey with you. So,
yes.
And I love that you start with the personal brand because, well, brand, but for us as, mostly solopreneurs here, it is that, the personal brand that we're speaking of. And it's the same exact thing. It's answering the question of who are you and what differentiates you from everybody else that's out there. And then that includes that emotional stimulation and how you make people feel. Mm-hmm. Do you invite them in or are you repelling them? And all of those things are part of your messaging, which are so key for successful marketing and then ultimately selling them and converting them into clients. Okay, so with all of that said, what is the biggest mistake that you usually see people make when it comes to marketing?
That they stop at marketing, that there's no call to action steps. It's just a whole bunch of look at me and there's not that clarity of the link to buy from you or the link for your consultation or the link to your book, whatever it is. It's just a whole bunch of content and marketing. Look at me. And here's the thing. If you're not building sales, you're building a hobby, not a business. And if it's just all content, look at me, you're an influencer. Again, not a business. Like you've got to get really clear that you're building a business. And I am going to challenge you because I'm the type of coach that really challenges people to get out of their comfort zones. I want you to put a dollar amount of what you want to sell this year. I don't care if it's 50,000, 100,000, or this is your $5 million a year. What is that number? And then you back engineer that into the months so that you really, really get clear. And I think this is such a piece that I know I miss. In my first business, oh my God, disaster. It's just a disaster. I wish I could go back and look at tapes of myself in that business because I'm like, how did I even do? I knew very little of what I know now back then, right? So I can't even believe I closed clients because I didn't know how to sell back then, really. And so, but give yourself grace because every master was once a disaster. What I'm masterful now in, I was a disaster years ago, right? So practice. So I would say a big part when I do a marketing audit on someone, the number one thing that I see is a lack of clarity of how to lead people to buy from you, right? Those little bricks, and not enough of them, if any, right? They talk around this offer, they talk around the sale, they talk around everything, and they just hope that people will like, oh, I need this thing. But hope is not a very good strategy. It just isn't. And here's, I think, what gets in a lot of people's way is the fear of being pushy or salesy or ego or whatever. Our job, if you have the responsibility of owning a business, you have the responsibility of sharing your offer, sharing your goods, your services, whatever you sell. And then in an unattached way, this is really important, unattached. Share it. Here's how to buy it, right? This is why it's great. And you are unattached to people buying, right? You don't force it. and you allow people to choose. Choosing is very powerful. And they're going to choose to buy from you, or they're choosing not to buy from you. And it's okay. And I think that gets rid of a lot of this like pressure on yourself that you're pressuring other people. Sales is not about pressure. You never want to be attached and you never want pressure. So I think that relieves, it's like, listen, you're in this to serve and solve. Whatever your product is, whatever your service is, it solves problems for someone and it serves someone. So when we stay in the mindset and the heart space of I'm going to serve and solve people with my product or my service, and the people that want it are going to say yes. And there's so much more freedom in that instead of like all the pressure that some people like they have so much dialogue around, oh my God, I'm going to be pushy, or this is be slimy, or this is going to, I can't present. I can't be a speaker. I can't, that's just too, it's like, no, get out in the world. God gave you these gifts. You have this amazing business. Get out in the world because the people who need you are waiting for you. And you're sitting in your house doubting that, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
smallness, that's what I call smallness.
Yeah, absolutely. And I see it quite often because, I work primarily with newer entrepreneurs or, less than 3 years, but a lot of them are just starting out and building the foundation. But these are integral pieces. I mean, we have to focus on the mindset and really work towards the confidence to be able to put ourselves out there, because if we're hiding, we can't serve and solve.
Right.
And so that's very important. So would you say that this sales mindset of, this lack of attachment to the actual purchase, is that the sales strategy, or how would you describe a successful sales strategy?
I wouldn't say that's the sales strategy. That's the sales mindset, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am here to serve. I am here to solve. I am here to share my gifts and greatness in the world, right? That's all a mindset so that we can go out and sell, network, present, etc. Strategy, I mean, sales strategy is different for and a sales system is different for every business. But if you're a solo service person, I mean, I've been a coach for 23 years. The first 8 years, I didn't have a website. There was no social media. It was 100% word of mouth, referral, really word of mouth and referral, right? And then it was build a website. Then it was, I wrote my book, and then people wanted me to start speaking on my book, which is mindset. And then, oh my gosh, you start speaking in front of 100 people, you're going to walk away from that with 3 clients. I'm speaking to 5,000 people or 1,000 people at a time. You're walking away with a lot of clients. So speaking and or having a book, great ways to get your gifts out in the world in front of your ideal clients. That's part of my sales strategy. My marketing and sales strategy are more traditional than I was telling you. Like, I have a social media, but it's more personal than anything. I don't spend any time, money, or energy around social media. It's not where I get clients. I get clients from podcasts, speaking, referrals, and relationships. I've been doing this a long time. So people are like, oh, you're struggling with sales or your sales system's broken. Oh, you got to work with Dina Patton. And I get that referral, right? So, people do talk, and I refer a lot to other coaches that I don't coach a lot of outside of my 3. And so I have to know coaches all the time so that I can refer them, right? So building those networks of people who work with my small business usually has 3 to 100 clients. It's really in the middle of that I really specialize. Like the 20 to 50 employees, that's heavy amount of clients. And then below that and above that, a little bit. So that's my client. And so when I have a huge network of a bunch of different contractors, consultants, trainers, coaches that serve the same client, but how they serve them is very different. They're not in the same topic as me. right?
Yeah, it
So I
becomes
don't
the
coach.
referral
Yeah,
source.
I don't coach on HR or customer service or,
Right.
these other pain points that I can be referring to my other coaching friends, right? So you have to think about the strategy. This is really important. When you are thinking about your marketing and sales strategy, the whole point is getting your brand out in front of your ideal client. So where is my client of let's say that he has 10 employees. Where is he? Is he in this association? Does he go to this event or this conference, right? So I have to do a little bit of my research online and offline. Where are they? How can I get in front of them and build a relationship? Once I understand that, then I can start saying, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this, because that's where they are. Everything else is a waste of time. You have to serve the client. Let's say you're serving moms of toddlers. Where are they? What do they read? Where are they online? Where are they offline? How do you build relationships with them? Right? So know your target market. That's where it all starts. And then the strategy is around how do I get in front of them? And what is the amount of money and time? For me to do a speech at a conference in front of 500 people, that's so much. There's a lot of time, money, and energy that goes into that. But that is the ROI on that is so much greater than doing a whole bunch of posts on social media.
Right. Absolutely. And so this all makes me think of relationship marketing more than anything, because you're talking so much about those opportunities to collaborate and refer or referral sources. And so when it comes to, so we do all of that, we build those relationships, we collaborate, we attract our clients through speaking and all of those great things that are more traditional and are away from social media. And I love this that you're talking about that, because so many people, when they go to start a business, they're told, well, you have to be on social media. Aren't you going to be on social media? That's how you're going to grow your business. It drives me bananas, because there are so many richer, deeper, more prosperous ways to market your business. But with all of that said, once we have marketed, now we have to be able to sell. So that sales system it starts with the branding, the marketing, and then, like we said, the journey. But then that sales system, once they're in our community, we still have to convert them.
Right. And that's through nurturing. So if, like, say you go speak and out of 500 people, 100 people get on your newsletter list or your email list or whatever you offered, your call to action. You leave with 100 emails. Maybe you leave with a couple clients, right? Well, now what? How are you going to nurture those 100, right? So that strategy of, now they went from cold to warm. They said, I like you. I like your topic. You were valuable to me. I want to get on your newsletter list, right? How are you going to now nurture that? Because part of marketing is what I call pipeline marketing, right? Today, I'm not necessarily looking for my next client today. I'm pretty full, but I'm always pipeline marketing, right? So because someone could be on my newsletter, oh, I can't tell you, in 23 years, I've had my newsletter, I think 10 years, 11 years. Multiple people have said, oh, I've been on your newsletter list for 4 years. But now, because we're having X problem, right? We have grown so fast in our business. We went from 3 people to 20 people in the last 2 years. We now are in systems breakdown. We don't have clear, written, captured systems, and our people are flailing, right? And because I've been on your newsletter list for 4 years, you came to mind, right? So not everybody, they might like you or trust you and really like your topic, but they're not in pain in that topic. It's when they hit that wall of, oh gosh, systems. I don't have written systems, and now I'm trying to hire people and I have nothing to train them on. It's all in my head. Bing, right? Me. So I
say this all the time.
Right?
All the time. I
So
say it all the time. You get them on your email list. They might not buy from you today, tomorrow, or in 6 months.
Yeah.
But a year from now, they could. And in the meantime, they're going to be having conversations with people who
Yes.
do have a pain that you can solve, and they're
Yes.
going to refer you. So it
Yes.
really is about getting them into that. And I hate to say the word funnel because I think it's so misused,
Yeah,
but
it is.
it really is. It's like you're guiding them through this journey.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
just like to call it the customer journey, right? It
it
really
is. It's a
is.
customer journey. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel
Yeah,
like the funnel makers, like to me, that it's very forced. I
it
don't
is.
like that kind of marketing.
Yeah.
For me, there's so many ways. My newsletter and my book are my two most popular nurture places where people get, they like me, they heard me somewhere, and that's where they usually go. And
Mm-hmm.
so those are two really solid ways to nurture your ideal market, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also just being present, having once a year, I will do a sales and marketing strategy workshop. And that is just, there's certain things that I'm kind of known for that I've put in place. And it's not all the time, it's once a year, I do something. And if they missed it that year, they get on the email list for next year, right? But
Mm-hmm.
it's,
Mm-hmm.
things like if you're a coach, thinking about where your customers are for their business, right? If you're a health coach, looking at what your ideal person is 20 to 40 pounds overweight, let's say. Where are they in that? Where are they mentally, emotionally, physically, right? And then think about how can you nurture your newsletter, your book, your ebook, your webinar? How can that nurture them and help them and bring them closer to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So understanding them, because we always want to be creating for them.
Right.
I learned that lesson really hard is in the beginning, I created what I was inspired by, what I wanted, and then went out and tried to sell it, right?
Yeah. It's
Versus,
not about us.
yeah, it's not about you. It is
No.
about your customer. What
Mm-hmm.
is their pain? What are
Mm-hmm.
they challenged in? And then how can you meet them? You do a really good job at that. I promise it will compound itself.
So it sounds to me like what you're saying is we really are selling without selling because all
Right,
we're doing is creating a journey that nurtures them to the point that they see they have this pain we're talking about and you are the solution.
right. Always positioning yourself as the solution, right? And
Mm-hmm.
again, we
Yep.
do that in really um, graceful, artful ways, but
Yep.
saying, I'm the expert in this or this. So definitely positioning, but also, I don't know about you, but as a business coach, like no one can just buy my services. Like you can't just you can buy my book, but you can't buy a program without a consultation with me. So
Right.
if you are someone that a consultation is what I call your gateway, then your consultation needs to be a key call to action.
Mm-hmm.
This is when I tell you my business tripled when I got this, literally tripled in a year. When I got that my link to my consultation was the link to my revenue, that link. And I gave myself an audit. I looked at I think I had 11 pieces, like all the different ways I was marketing and outreaching. And I think it was on one. And I was like, and I'm wondering why no one's doing consultations. I'm not inviting people to them. So today, I mean, if I was speaking at a conference, you would hear it. It's in my book. It's in my email signature. It's on every page of my website. Book a consultation with Dina, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Callwithdina.live. I highly suggest. So if you're going to do podcasts or any speaking, one of the best suggestions I got was go to GoDaddy, spend $10, get a domain that you can say easily on stage. If you're speaking, I highly suggest you speak. It is
Mm-hmm.
the best way you can position
Yep.
yourself. But I got callwithdina.live. $10 a year, but it's a very easy thing to remember. And it goes right to my schedule, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's everywhere. That my brand is, that link or QR code is everywhere. And it's just an invitation. Hey, if you're struggling with this, hop on a call with Dina. Here's the link. That will literally change your life. It will change. If you don't have it everywhere, it'll change your life.
I think that's where we're going to wrap up, because that is right there. So much gold. Right. And I think we spend so much time thinking we have to actually sell a product or sell a course or sell a mastermind or sell something. And really, all we need to do is nurture and then get them on a call, because once they understand who you are from your personal brand, you've brought them into your community, and then you've nurtured them along the way. What is the next step? The next step is to get more intimate through a discovery call or a free consultation or whatever that looks like for your business. And then that's where the magic happens.
Yes, absolutely. Right there.
All right.
So good.
That's so good. So Dina, thank you so much for sharing yourself with us today. Can you tell the listeners how they can find you, connect with you, learn more from you?
Yeah, super simple. My website has everything, my book, a consultation link, all my services, dinapatton.com. Super easy.
That's amazing. So thank you so much for being here. And listeners, if you found this information helpful, I would so appreciate it if you would leave us a rating and review, because that's how we can continue to reach more people and help more women grow businesses with sustainable success, which is ultimately my goal. And hopefully you want to support other women too. So also be sure and subscribe so you don't miss any episodes of all of this greatness and the value that we provide. But give Dina some love too, and go check out her website. And if you are struggling in any of these areas, don't hesitate to reach out to her or to me if you're ready to build that sustainable foundation for long-term success. All right, friends, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all next week.
And that's a wrap, friends. A heartfelt thank you for being here. I know there are many other ways that you could spend your time, so I truly appreciate you joining me. And be sure and visit the website, therobingraham.com/resources for a plethora of resources to help you grow your business for long-term success.